Alright, so in this video, basically this is the final video of the rigging. We're just going to try and clean some stuff up. So we have the character completely rigged with all the good bits here. Go to channel box. You'll see, we got all this stuff, right? So that's pretty cool, and he, she, generally, well, that one doesn't work. Should work, but doesn't. Okay. Anyhow, oh, it's bound, alright, but maybe I only did it on one side. I was curious. Okay. So only one side was complete. Anyway, so the character should be all rigged and what have you, but there's a problem where this character is probably going to be part of a whole bunch of characters. Usually you have a cast of characters, right? And so you'll have a set, and you might have other characters, or you'll have other elements in there. Right now, if you go to Windows, General Editors, Hypergraph Hierarchy, this is our scene right here. And if you look, we've been making all these pieces. So we have our skeleton and some of the solvers underneath there. We have this geometry group. We have this foot controller group. We have some various random controllers. All these FK controllers, and they need to be fixed. Okay, so and some of that's actually going to help with the functioning as well. So for instance, if I go to move, let's say this guy, you're going to notice that this arm doesn't go up. And that's because things are not parented correctly. Okay, so we need to basically take all these nodes and parent them each to each other in a correct way. Alright, so it's going to be relatively simple. First thing we're going to do is have nothing selected, and we're going to make two main nodes, okay, two empty groups. So we have nothing clicked on, and I'll hit Control G, and that's going to make a null group. And we're going to call this the non-transform underscore GRP, okay? So this is a group that does not get moved. It's not allowed to be, not allowed to be moved. And then we're going to make, and then it'll be, any new node always gets put at the end. I'll hit Control G again. And this one, again with nothing selected, this is going to be called the transform underscore GRP. And basically this is meant to be everything that does get moved becomes underneath here. Alrighty, so first thing I'm going to do, inevitably everything's going to get put over there. So what I'm going to do is start parenting things. So what I want to do is each one of these elements here, this should be parented to this, okay? Now if you were to take this and parent it to this, the problem is it's going to inherit those its local space. So we can't do that. What we need to do is not parent the risk controller, but the group above it. All right. So this has got to get parented to this. And I can do a couple of ways. Click on this, hold Shift, click on that, and hit P. All right. So now when you go to move the elbow controller, the other one moves. All right. Now the other way to do it is obviously the elbow goes to shoulder, right? So the other way is make sure you have the move tool on. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button. See how this little plus shows up? And I'm going to drag it and let go right here. Okay, and that's basically allows me to put on there. Then the shoulder is going to go to the clavicle. All right, and then let me make this bigger so you can see. And then the clavicle, well, never mind. Okay, so that's the clavicle. That's all the one arm. Now we need to do is the other one here. So then this wrist is going to go to this elbow to the shoulder, and this shoulder to this clavicle. All right, and then we need to parent some other things. Okay, let's go over here. So we have some neck controllers. Okay, so we have neck controller and head controller. All right, so obviously the head should be parented to the neck, right? Because when the neck rotates, the head should follow. So now if I rotate this, you could see. Okay, so that's good. But obviously when the head moves, the jaw needs to move. So underneath the head is going to be the jaw. So that way if I move my head, the jaw doesn't move with it. Yay. Because I put it to the head null. It's going to be the head controller. There we go. Okay. Need some weight painting there. He's got a little bit of a problem there, but that's fine. So that's good. Now we have to make a decision about the eyes. Now, we could do a more advanced rig than what we have here, but to do more advanced rig takes a lot more. So I'm trying to keep things relatively simple. So here we have the eye controller, right? So when we move this, it moves the eyes around, and apparently that goiter on his neck. So what that means is that we could do something where we leave that and it's not parented to anything. So that way, no matter where the guy looks, no matter where he moves, just so you can see here, let me get closer. No matter which way he goes, he's always looking at that, right? Like it's cookies or something. Ooh, yeah. Okay. The problem is that then you have to animate this as you're moving along. Now, in some ways, this is good because you can have a character be more focused. I personally like to just, because I'm lazy, I like to take that and actually just parent it to the head. And that way, when the head rotates, it also rotates. Now, you could take that eye controller and instead parent it to, let's say, the chest controller here. I'm just going to show you real quick. And that way, when I rotate my head, you'll see it will always stay still. So you might find that more useful. Okay? But when I rotate my chest, which is not parenting correctly yet, but when I rotate my chest, you'll see that it moves with the chest. Okay? So it's up to you. So you could do it to the chest. You could also do it to the waist. You could also just do it to, which I don't have one, a global positioning controller. Okay? So in this case, I'm just going to do it to the head because I think that's the simplest. All right. Now we've got this root controller. Look, he's doing the floss. Okay. And then we have the chest. So obviously to the chest should be the neck. So I'm going to take the neck, go to the chest, and that way when I rotate the chest, now the neck moves with it, which is good. Okay. That's fantastic. All right. Now the other things that need to are also the two clavicles. I'm going to grab both these clavicles, middle mouse button, click and drag onto chest controller. So now when I rotate this, you can see the whole thing moves. It's really exciting. Okay. All right, so that's looking okay. Then we have this spline IK. So that is actually, let me see. That's actually the spline that's inside of here. There's a curve that's driving that spine. So we have to take that, and that's just going to go into the non-transform group, okay? Because that should not ever be moved. If that gets moved, it gets all befuddled. There's also the IK to that, which I think is also on the spine. We're going to take that and also put that in the non-transform group. And then there's this one, which I don't know where you are. Oh, this guy. And I don't think it does anything. I think he was just made of something extra. So we're just going to delete and get rid of him. Okay, so now we have a couple of primary controllers here, which is fine. I'm going to make one more controller because I apparently didn't make that yet. So we're going to go to Create. NURBS Primitives, Circle, Option Box. Pivots, object. Okay, the rest of that's all fine. Sweep angle, radius is fine. But you'll see the number of sections. I'm going to change this to, let's say, 6. And instead of doing it cubic, I'm going to do linear. Okay, and I'll hit create. And what that's going to do is it's going to make me a stop sign. Right? So all these are cubic. So what ends up happening is they look that way. So this way it'll be a little more obvious what it is. All right, so we'll do something like that. And I just want it right at origin like that. Like that's fine. And I'm just going to rename this one initial positioner underscore CRV. Okay. And I scaled it up. So now I got to freeze the transforms. Modify, freeze transformations. Okay. Because what we need to have happen right now is if I want to move the character, I have to grab this and then, you know, move it like that. And it's a little bit annoying, you know. And then if I want to rotate the character, you can see it's not really possible. So what I want to do is I want to take everything that's on the guy and have it move with this controller. So we have one controller to initially position the character. So I got this initial positioner here. So now what we're going to do is, what's this one? The root controller. We're going to go ahead and take that and put that underneath initial positioner. So you can see now that moves with it. And then we're going to take the foot controllers. Are both feet on that? Oh, they are. Okay, we'll take the foot controllers. And I'll put that also underneath the initial positioners. And now when I move the initial positioner, you can see it works. Yay. Okay. Now some other things that we want to do are these. You see this geo group. This also should not be transformed. So I'm going to put that in the non-transform group. All right, so that's part of that. Now I just want to test one more thing. This is obviously going to be in the transform group because that's the things that get moved. I want to test one more thing. So a nice little thing that you could do, I'll move this out of the screen here, just to kind of test it, is that you take the translates and rotates and you type in 100. So you make sure they're over 90 degrees. And then we'll hit F to frame. And we just make sure that nothing is fishy, like the head's twisted or the body goes off or whatever like that. And if you look, he looks pretty solid. So I'm just going to zero those back out. or you can type in, or you can just hit Control Z. That looks fine. All right, so that's all good. And then we'll take this root controller and put that in non-transform as well. These are being moved, but they're being moved by those elements. So if for some reason it's weird and it doesn't work the way you want, sometimes you have to take the, where is it? The, this joint here, the root joint, you have to parent that also. And you'd have to parent that to the initial positioner. So if yours acts funny, try doing, or not initial positioner, I'm sorry. Oh no, yeah, initial positioner. So if yours acts funny, try doing that. Now we have two groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of those, and I'm going to hit Control, I select them both, just click and drag. Control G, and now I have one group, and then we just name this whatever the character is. So in this, we're going to call it Birdman _ GRP. Okay? Yay. So now if you were to look, if I hit, let's say, A for all, you'll see that my my character all resides under one node, and that's what we want to have happen. Because if you have a bunch of like feet and stuff like that, they're gonna, when you have other characters, if they're also like that, they'll all be tossed about and all over the place, and it'll make it kind of difficult. But now we have a solid character all underneath one node. That is good. So what you'd want to do is you would save this, and you would save it like this. I guess I called my guy Hawk. Hawk _ RIG in all caps. Okay. This is just typical kind of naming convention stuff. Now, again, what might make sense actually is to save it as ASCII and not binary. ASCII are larger, but it gives you a little bit more control, and if for some reason there is an issue, you might be able to like solve it through code. It's up to you. I'll just leave this as binary, and then I would hit save as, and so what's it, save as? Okay, yep, continue. All right, and now if you look, give it a second. Alright, it's going to take forever. I think that's quite a bit. Okay, so now we close that out, and if you look, we now have our character rigged. And that's basically all there is to it, and your rig is officially done.